I'm Nikita.
And I'm Je'Bree, and you're listening to Be Do Have, a podcast about our personal journey that led us to create who we want to be, doing things from the place of being to have what we want and need.
Thank you all for joining us as we explore several different love and fear based concepts and the experiences we draw to ourselves because of those powerful energies. So, this week we will be discussing love. We're wrapping up our five natural emotions. But before we jump into the topic, we're just going to talk a little bit about our weeks and just any highlights from our week. And I'll start. So, my week was pretty chill. I am still getting a lot of messages from my goddess bath. I am starting to really get into meditation and just creating my sacred space. So I did have an altar. I had a childhood altar, and it was like right in the middle of my bedroom. And I kind of moved that to my closet, set up a little area in my closet, took all my childhood stuff out because I feel like I've dealt with a lot of that during my bath and replace it and starting to build my ancestral altar and just creating that sacred space for just me and my ancestors and God to dwell. And it's been amazing. I am practicing going within and meditating and quieting my mind and connecting my breath with the body. And it is challenging at first. It's very different. And I felt like I've, meditated before and I should, not be like starting from ground zero, but I am starting from ground zero and I'm not doing guided meditation. So that's also a lot different. Other than that, it's pretty ironic that we're discussing love because this week, more so like the weekend starting with Good Friday, like my kids have been all up under me. And they haven't really been up under me since probably, I don't know, 8 years old, 9 years old. They started to kind of, go off and do their thing and, spend time by themselves or on their electronics or watching TV. But like this weekend, they've just been I don't know, like in my room, in my bed, let's watch movies, let's hang out, just having conversation and not so much like going back and forth and like constantly, you know, trying to rip each other's heads off. Just chilling. And I've been enjoying that. Like I've like been just sitting back like, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy this. And it kind of makes sense just based on just things that I've kind of brought up during the bath. So it does make sense that that's, they're starting to come around. But
I told
that's
you.
been,
I told you too. Like once they get, because they just turned 12, they getting ready to be 13. And I know, like, you think that it happens like actually like closer to the time where they turn 13, where everything just kind of clicks. But it's not always that. I remember, when I was, wondering when Pooh was gonna come back around to being like all up under me and stuff when he was, transitioning into a teen. And it was, yeah, it was before he actually turned 13 that he was like, "Oh, I want to be like sitting with you." And like when I talked to him, like the things that I would tell him, like he would, I know it would definitely be coming, the things that I would be pouring into him would be coming to fruition, and it was bomb. It was really, really bomb.
see, that didn't happen with me. Like, I feel like I started to shy away from my mom around, 13 and come back when I was like fucking 17. So
Mm.
I don't know if I was just more of a late bloomer or if it was just different with me, but like I thought that I was actually not lose them, but that feeling of, oh my God, my kids are,
But I
just
mean, keep in
distant.
mind, yeah, but keep in mind too, like you got to realize where she was, like you're at a different place. Because me and you talk about that all the time. Like you're at a different place to where you're at peace and you're calm and you're providing that open space for them to, just be themselves, their authentic self. Um, Not to say that, your mom wasn't, but I mean, she may have been in a different place, in a different space, in her life journey, to where she wasn't really creating that space for you, at that time when you were 12, transitioning into, being a teen. Because I know my mom
No,
wasn't.
it was
Not that she
rebellious.
wasn't,
It was rebellion. Like I was in a rebellious stage where I felt like shit, I knew everything. So
mm,
maybe that's yet to come, or maybe it won't come, but it was completely different. But I did start to create that distance from like my mom and my family, around the age of 13 to where I had to venture off and try to figure out where I stood in the world and kind of, learn lessons on my own as opposed to like her saying, okay, this is gonna happen if you do that. Like, nah, no, it's not, because you feel like you're invincible. So I guess that's where I'm coming from. And so that's why I was thinking in my head that it was gonna last longer. But yeah, it's been really nice
oh
to say
yeah, I
the least.
mean, them little glimpses, they come. Not to say that the rebellion part or the I know, you ain't gotta tell me.
You ain't gotta tell
Yeah, you
me.
ain't gotta tell me because I already know because I've been living on this earth for a good 12, 13 years. So I already know. Not to say that that's not gonna come, but, because, like I said, because you're in a different space and you're creating that environment to where, you're open and they can be vulnerable, you'll catch
Mm,
little glimpses. Because, I mean,
mm,
yeah, you'll definitely catch little glimpses.
I can
And
definitely see that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So how was
that's
your
cool.
week?
So it's funny that you say, like that. I think maybe it was because it was good for. I don't know what's going on, but um,
Maybe because it was Good Friday,
girl,
huh?
I don't even know, but I want to say, so Thursday, I went to I went to the plant and I wasn't really planning on it. Like I was just kind of like, no, I'm not really gonna go. But at the last minute, I ended up going so I could work from home on Friday. So my mom told my son, she was like, yeah, like your mom is gonna be here, because he was thinking that he was gonna be here by himself on Friday. Um, and he was like, no, she was like, no, 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 your mom's gonna be here. She's gonna be working from home. And he was all excited and stuff. And I was like, who this? New poo, who this? Because you've been really on, like, not really. He been avoiding me like crazy ever since that whole driving incident.
Mm.
But that we do not the incident that we do not talk about. But but my mom was like, yeah, your mom's gonna be home, and he was all excited or whatever. And so I was like, well, since I'm here or whatever, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, I just want to chill because it's like all raining, and maybe we can watch the new Spider-Man movie. And I was like, okay, you actually gonna sit down and watch a movie with me? So instead of watching Spider Man, we watched Avengers, because the end game or whatever. Because he was like, well, I watched Infinity, whatever, the one before that one, the night before. So he was like, I want to watch Avengers. So we did that, and we played games, and we just like talked and chilled. And I want to say towards the end of the day, he was like, I want to go bowling like tomorrow. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And he's like, yeah, and I want to go with one of my friends from school. And I was like, nope, who this? Like, I can't believe you can ready, like, actually, reach out and be asking, somebody to go with you. But all right. So he reached out to one of his classmates, which is a girl, and he was like, hey, like, do you want to go, to Penn Stack, whatever, whatever. And she was like, I can't go, on Saturday. How about Sunday? And everything worked out, and it was a date. It was, yeah, we did that today, and we've been preparing like all yesterday. Like, we spent all yesterday together, like out about, just chilling and vibing, and me and him, and just, yeah, it was a very, very good day. And then fast forward to today, he had this date, and he was like, all nice and courteous, and like, yeah, it was really dope. So Yeah, it's been a good
That
few.
sounds like a date.
Yeah, girl, it was a date. I mean, yeah, it was a date. He paid for her little game card and stuff, and
How was
yeah,
that for you?
it was fine. Girl, I can't look here. I ain't trying to stop nobody's evolution around this sun. For real.
Well, not coming from like that perspective, just like how did you feel to see your son, you know, ask somebody out and go out on a date? But is this his first date?
Hmm.
So how was
Um,
that for you
it was
as a parent?
it was affirming. It was calming, like just to watch him interact and engage with not just her, but also like the staff, like, oh, he's actually a good human being, like, and I always try to tell him, like, I'm putting out a good human being into a productive human being out into this world. So just to see him, be himself and be confident and kind, it was confirmation that, like, yeah, Je'Bree, like, you thought you was doing bad, you thought that, like, you lost years, chasing your career dream or chasing different aspirations and not really pouring into your son, but you actually did pretty good, like, cuz yeah, cuz he's the truth, like, yeah.
Nice. I love
Mhm.
that. I think that that's a really good segue into our topic. So we'll just go ahead and jump into it.
Mhm.
So the first question I have is, what is love? And I'll go first. So for me, I believe that love is God. I think that it's the purest energy in its rawest form. Myself personally, I'm still getting to know love. I believe that love starts with yourself. And as I'm on this journey of going inward, I do believe that I'm starting to get to know love on a more intimate level as opposed to like feelings that comes from, being in a relationship with another or, love for your children or your family or your relatives, siblings, etc. I think it's outside of that. I'm trying to experience my self-love and go inward and see what that is and how that actually feels, as opposed to logically thinking about this is what love is, this is how love should feel. To actually feel that love is where I'm at right now. So outside of me, you know feeling like I have an idea about, God and who God is, and obviously God is all things, um, and that aspect of love and love, in relation to other beings, I don't really know what love is. So, how about you? What is love for you?
So, I would definitely have to agree with you that, you know, love is, like you said, the highest vibration that you can pretty much have for yourself. Um, I mean, in reading Conversations with God, really is the only it's love and fear. Like, those are the only emotions. And one thing that you brought up last week was that a lot of the things that we experience, so like jealousy, anger, grief, all of those low vibrational emotions, are derivatives of love. So I would say that I'm learning what love is, right? I'm learning the romantic love, and I'm also kind of learning the love of self. So I think we cool with what you think love is and what I think love is. So my question, right? Because as I was like preparing for today, right, and just for this topic, um, one thing that I think both me and you are kind of like inadvertently doing simultaneously is actually trying to like really, really go inward and not just do that like that self care, and just